The Good Afternoon Planet Earth podcast with Dominic Lianelli and Amy Johns.
Good afternoon.
Now for the
Planet
show.
Earth.
I like this. How are you, Amy? Everybody, welcome my host, Amy J. Jans. I
Thanks,
don't
guys.
have a niche.
Yes, please add me on Instagram. This is my art account because Instagram didn't give me access to Reels on my Amy J. Jans account. So I had to create a whole new account and start from fresh. You'd think in a pandemic, these companies would help artists.
Right.
But instead, they're just taking their data and money. Anyway, shout out to TikTok and Rizzle. Been loving Rizzle. Love you, Rizzle. Thank you. Everybody, this fucking thing. I always do that.
The mirror.
Everybody introducing my co-host, Dominic Lianelli.
What up?
And you can add Dominic at Dom's Details and Dominic Lianelli. Instagram, TikTok, Rizzle.
Yeah, everybody. Dom's Details is an easy way to get me. And I'm trying to do a new business account because I have all these like fake followers. I don't know. I message them. I never see. They never post anything. I want like real people that I know are going to come out to shows.
And you know what the way to do that is? Here's the thing. As artists, we just want to post our stuff and then walk away. Like, I really do not want to be glued to my phone. And, you know, if people engage me, I'm so happy. I'm like, oh my God, thank you. But the thing is, we got to find them. We have to do target market research, meaning what are your interests? Find those people. So we do have to spend like 15 minutes engaging. That's something I've been really bad. I get so exhausted with posting and then I just don't engage, which is exactly what I'm missing. And do you engage online?
You know, I don't even get much engagement. Like I won't sit on there and comment on everybody's post. Here's the thing. I know people that do that and I watch them lose hours of their life and they get like maybe 4 followers a month. You look at their page, it's still 2,000 followers.
I know. And you know what, though? I saw this TikTok video. I always rave about these. TikTok is like super enlightening sometimes. This one video was like, hey, look, even if you get one fan or one viewer, that's one human being you can reach. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's true. Honestly, numbers don't matter. Like, if you have one dedicated person who appreciates your content, that's worth it.
Yeah, I agree.
But it's just time taking away from actually creating. Like, since I've been active posting, I have not wrote. Is it wrote or written?
I'm not sure.
They're both past tense. I haven't wrote. I haven't written. I feel British, which makes me feel cool. I haven't written anything since I've been posting. But here's the thing. When I wasn't gung-ho posting, I was writing every day. It's like I'm learning it's either one or the other. Like there's no such thing as 150%. Like I'm just going hardcore, like 150%. And I'm like, oh shit. Like I'm maxed out. There's just not enough time in the day. So something's got to give to gain in another area. So I'm just like, damn, I need to get back to writing, which is what I genuinely love. Cause I've been getting, you post and nobody I get depressed a little,
Yeah.
I gotta validate myself. Like we were talking in the other video, validate ourselves and not count on the likes, do it for the fun. Yeah. But I also would like to see improvement. I think it's one thing to do an art form and see improvement, but it's another to do an art form and not see improvement, which is the sad part.
Right.
So it's like, okay, I'm at the point I need to switch something up and get back to the art and the process and the skill of it, the craft of it.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Going back to writing the comments, I was complaining about that to an older head of comedy. I was like, man, you know, you got respond and comment, and then it's like messaging people. And he told me, it's like, you know, back in the 90s and even like 2000s, we had to drive like sometimes 45 minutes at 5 in the morning to do a radio gig to pray that we get 2 more people out because there'd be 6 people at the show.
Whoa. That's really inspirational. Thank you for sharing that. That is so true. Here we are complaining. I'm in my pajamas, like doing. I'm just like, I'm so wiped out. And, and it's like this poor guy got to wake up 5 a.m., do these like weird, the road dog, or, you know, these like morning talk things, actually be in person praying that the right person is listening at the right time that would go to your show that they're promoting in the area or whatever.
Right. Yeah. I gotta leave my goose down pillow to go to the station. Yeah. No, I did a couple of those radio gigs, and I think they do work, but you gotta really be on a lot, like maybe 2 hours, some of those morning shows, because people just tune in quick. But I've had people come one time like, yeah, I heard you on the radio, you were so funny. You know, it's crazy on the radio that how quick you got to be on the radio. Like even a podcast, you have some time to kick back. But on the radio, they're like, all right, 27 in the morning. Da, da, da.
Oh,
what do you think of the color blue? And you're just like, what? And then another guy's jumping in. 5 in the morning. Yeah, the blue.
Right. And like, I mean, performers, why is it so early? Well, I guess for the commuters, but it's like, I would not want to be anywhere at 5 a.m., let alone you got to be on. You can't be zoned out on those shows, like slopped together, like, yo.
Yeah. And then, you know, you just drove into the town, probably went to bed in some hotel with bed bugs at 2 in the morning. And then you got your show at 8 or 9.
Right.
The worst is when you're sharing the room with somebody. Like I drove and I'd share the room. You get these hotels, it'll be like a double bed, but you guys are both next to each other. But it's like if you drove there
leg
all
to
night,
leg.
Yeah, you're just so tired. You're like,
right.
They're up. They slept in the car. Right. And then, you know, you got to share it with them. I've had times like that, you know, where you're on the road with somebody and they're just like a jerk. To me, sometimes I'm like, it's not worth it I'd rather go with one of my friends and honestly, just like you said, get like, you know, reach out, do some engagement and maybe make it your own show.
So true. Yeah, I've seen a lot of YouTubers do live shows. Like, do you know that YouTuber Miranda sings?
No, but somebody else asked me if I know her too.
You know, her journey is interesting. So she had this YouTube thing. She does a character. And one time I saw she had a live show and I was like, you know, I'm there to kind of be like, let's see, you know, cause like as stand-ups, we write, we go to the open mics every day and grind it, you know? So it's like kind of, I already had this like bias, like hate, not hate, but judgment. It was my own. And anyway, I watched her show. It was fabulous. It was awesome. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. Like, you don't need to, that's a direction, that's a route, but is it necessary to be at the mics grinding every night? Because I saw this girl's path. It was entertaining. It was so great. And I was like, interesting. I don't know, but you know, and she had the fans that appreciated her. And then she ended up developing a Netflix show around her character. I watched that too. I was like, this is great. It's unique. It's different. It's quirky. I was like, wow, the power of the internet is you are grinding. You know what I mean? There's that perception of YouTubers aren't grinding. It's like, no, dude, you were freaking grinding it on YouTube, putting stuff out there, editing. It's such a grind.
Right. I used to be the same way. Like, I wouldn't say jealous, but I'd be like, these YouTubers when they'd sell out Carolines or something,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
you'd be like, oh, how come they got Carolines? He's a YouTuber. But
Right.
I used to think that until I tried to be a YouTuber, and it's like these guys, they're grinding out in front of the camera 8 hours and 5 hours the same way we're doing the mics.
So true. Yeah, there's performance, there's editing, there's promotion. Wow, like YouTubing is very exhausted if you do all of the work yourself.
And it's so much you can learn from it, like just from the sketches
Yeah.
I did in our podcast. Remember, I used to sit there like this.
Yes.
You learn when
Remember
you.
we went to Five Guys that one day and we had our laptops and we're like editing at the Five Guys on where
Oh,
like by Bleecker Street,
yeah.
somewhere in the West Village, that Five Guys. We're just sitting there with our like $4 fries because that's what we could afford. That was like only 2 years ago, too. And yeah, the
Wow.
progress we both made. I tell you what, like even just graduating from FIT with a degree in marketing and advertising, this is our portfolio. We're building a digital portfolio by doing all this online content.
Right.
It's
Yeah.
fun.
I could tell yours is paying off with the
I'm
editing.
trying.
I remember you trying to teach me, and I remember looking at Adobe like, "Whoa, there's so many numbers." It was just so
Yeah.
overwhelming. I felt like I could never get it. And now I'm just like, pap, pap, pap.
Oh yeah, the videos you edited are awesome. I was blown away with
That is
it.
cool. I'm gonna get back
Yeah.
into it. Guys, I've been away because the internet in my living situation was stolen. So I don't know what was going on with the internet. It had never like worked. We had to run an extension cord out the window and
Oh man. Speaking of that, care to announce your new life
yeah.
milestone?
Yes, please. Uh,
Dominic is now living large in his own apartment, no roommates in New York City.
Everybody that's not in New York,
Congrats.
you guys don't realize how much of an accomplishment that is. Because I tell people in
Seriously.
Ohio, and they're like, "You got a 1 bedroom apartment?" I'm like, "Yeah, I got a 1 bedroom." They're like, "Oh, do you want me to send you some money?" No, I'm actually doing good.
Right.
Uh,
No, having your own 1 bedroom apartment in New York City is like that is living large.
it's an accomplishment. It was a
Yeah.
struggle just to get because they make it so impossible in New York. Did I tell you the one place on Allen Street where you used to live right by there was originally where I wanted to go. And I have credit. I never used my parents for anything. I've always built my credit. And, I'm 35 and they knew I was 35. And they said both my parents need good credit and need to be on the lease to be in the building. I'm like, they're
What?
not going to live there.
So they knew if they didn't know you were 35, I would be like, okay, they probably just think you're like an NYU student. I don't know.
No, I don't know. I mean, they had all my stuff, my social. They seen I have really good credit, and
Right.
like
Is it
I
above
pulled,
700?
yeah, I'm a
Oh, weird.
726, so I felt like they shouldn't say anything.
Right. When I did real estate in New York City, the standard was you had to make 740 times the rent, and well, I think that was about it. Oh yeah, I mean, and you had to, 740 times rent.
And 3 recent pay stubs.
Yes, yes,
Yeah, showing that 40%. And I had that. So, I just felt like
right.
some of these New York buildings are strange. It was such a great
Oh,
building too. But who knows, I don't know if they're like they just want to make sure like, hey, we're not gonna get screwed. I feel like landlords are like scared. Even this landlord was like, and he's like, I'll work it out with you. He's like, if you gotta leave, just let me know and I won't mess up your credit. Just help me. We'll find somebody to replace the apartment. He's like,
wow.
I
The
really
guy
don't.
in this apartment?
Yeah, he was like,
Oh, that's great.
he's like, I just really don't want anybody in here squatting for 6 months. He's like, are you a
Yeah,
good guy? You gonna pay your rent? And he was just straightforward with me. And he's like,
that's
there was
cool.
3 applications on this apartment, and he got to choose.
That
And I
is
was
so
like, yeah, I was like, I won't bother you or anything. you know,
wow. And that's kind of a good omen for like how it's going to be living. Because if they're cool, you got good vibes.
So cool. And I haven't seen a roach. You know what it's like to live in New York and not see roaches?
That's amazing. But I will tell you, if you do see a roach, don't take it personal. Because I feel like a lot of people, once they start seeing roaches, they take it personal. Like, oh my God, I'm dirty, or I'm scummy. But like, no, that's inevitable. My roommate in my Queens apartment, she saw one roach and like forced us to have like a 2-day cleaning marathon on the weekend. And I'm like, bro, like we're in fucking the oldest house. This house was built in like the 1800s, those queen row houses in
Right.
Astoria. And I'm like, the pipes, the basement's disgusting. We're really immaculate, to be honest. It's not it's not black or white thinking. It's like, okay, we got a bug. What can we do about it?
Right. No, I feel like it just goes with it. Like I've been in luxury apartments. Like I was in an apartment of 7,000 a month. And when I was doing moving jobs, I remember seeing roaches bigger than I've ever seen on the Lower East Side, bigger ones than I've ever seen in my life, this big, like in these luxury
Yes.
apartments.
Oh
And
yeah, they're in the luxury apartments too.
yeah,
What was it? Oh my God, I remember when in my LA apartment though, what are those water bugs? They're like
yeah.
those suckers are disgusting, man. They would crawl out of the wall.
Oh,
And the shower caulking, they would like push through and it would crumble. Oh my God. I never forget how terrifying it was just showering. And then I would see the crumble in the wall. And then I would see the little antlers. And I remember just being like, oh no, oh no. And then it would crumble and they would all flow out in the
oh,
bathtub while showering. Oh, I
oh
tell you,
my
it
God.
does scar you. It does. Like, I just got this like chill down my back, not in a good way.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh God. Oh,
yeah. I would
I
know.
got roach PTSD from slumlord apartments.
Yeah, I've had one on the Lower East Side where I had to put my shoes on a shelf and I always had to wear them to the bathroom because I'd step on a roach in
Yeah.
the middle of the night. And we got it sprayed twice a month. Like it was
Oh.
$160. It was just like it was 80 a time. So
And
it's like
it's so
those on
much
the roof.
chemicals too. The roach bombs. Like I think
Yeah,
they
the cat
do.
ran away. My roommate had a cat and it ran away.
Oh.
You think it would have wanted to kill the roaches? Yeah, I know. That's a sad note. Yeah, the cat left.
The roaches were so bad. Your cat was like, "Bye, I'm
It
leaving
was
this dirt bag."
it,
the
it wasn't mine.
the
My
cat
roommate
packed up
had
his bags and
it.
was like, "All right, I'm going
Yeah.
somewhere else." Is the cat so? Uh,
No, it
in my
left
head,
too. She
do
don't
you
know
know?
why it left. She kept asking us, "You see Whiskers?" And I was like, "No, I didn't see him."
Oh shit! I hope the cat's all right. Well, sending love to the cat, praying it's all right and in a loving home.
Yeah, hopefully it found an apartment without roaches. Maybe one with a mouth it can run around with.
Oh my God. Watch that cat's in like the Plaza Hotel, just living large with like tea cakes and
It's eating Friskets out of the can.
right.
Milk, drinking milk.
Oh my God. Well, anyway, congrats on your new place. It's so exciting. It must be so liberating to, not rely on anyone. I mean, like I said, you could have the coolest roommate, but it's just so nice to live alone.
Yeah, exactly. I think especially in these small spaces, it's like, you always have to put on a little something. Like if you're walking by, like, these
Yeah.
apartments are so small, some of them. So it's like you're gonna see your roommate 7,000 times a month.
Oh yeah.
You
It's
know?
just cool to just like walk out, just like naked if you want to use the
Right.
restroom instead of like clothing, putting on, whatever, tiptoeing, like doo 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 doo.
Right. Making coffee. You can't even make coffee till 11. You don't want
Oof,
to wake up your
right?
roommate.
Yes, my old roommate, I would hear, oh my God, she would wait for me to get out of the kitchen to go in, and she would like, I knew this because she would open her door, she would see that I'm in there, and then close her door, and then I hear her footsteps by the door, I'm just like, come in. I don't fucking care. We are both two busy human beings, you know?
Right.
And then once I got my bowl of cereal and my cup of coffee, tiptoe to my bedroom, and then you hear her door. Right when I close my door, you hear her walk out. I'm like, it's just no human above a certain age should not have to act like that, you know?
Right. I had a roommate once, and when I had like the girl or something over,
Oh,
I'd see the hallway light. You could see his 2 feet by the door.
yes,
Yep.
yes, yes.
And I'd be like, "What are you doing? Like trying to just eavesdrop on what we're talking about?"
Oh my God, New York City living. I know. I was doing voice warm ups today for the pod because, I get insecure about my voice sometimes when it goes up here. And I'm going, oh, and I'm like, wow, when I move back to the city, like, I'm going to be so embarrassed to do my voice warm ups. It would be
Yeah.
cool to have space to where you could just sing and it not be an issue. Like, singing, it sucks in New York. Even if you live alone, singing is an issue, you know?
Right. I know you almost have to do it outside somewhere.
Right. Yes.
In the wintertime, it's tough. I had a singing roommate, but lucky for me, she was good. I loved it. It was pretty cool. I
Oh,
got to hear
cool.
all that all the time. I
Oh
had
my
one.
God. If they're
I
good, it's great.
Yeah, I had one roommate in Queens, actually, speaking of Queens, and it was just a month lease. And it was just weird. The whole thing was weird. Like the carpet
Oh,
was from 1970, and the guy never left his bedroom. Anyways, he never left his room. Like, I don't know. He never really left. He'd order food and just let them ring the buzzer. I'd have to open up the door, or one of the other roommates. And Amy, the he would open up his bedroom door and the food delivery guy would walk it into his bedroom. He wouldn't move from his bedroom.
wow. Was that?
Yeah, he had his own bathroom, I guess. And I've never seen him. He had like I don't know if he was like embarrassed, but his face was like broken out. But yeah, it was just like this was so strange. I
Yeah.
can't believe he never left that room.
Oh my God. It sounds like my old roommate. She just sit in her room all day. And it's like I would go out, and hope. I just want privacy.
What
When
I
your
love
roommate's always home, it's like,
What I love about New York is even though there's millions of people, there's so much privacy. You're still alone.
you're right. I know. I remember I used to go to this one Jamba Juice in Williamsburg to cry. It was like my good
Oh,
crying spot. Like, yeah, I loved it. I was like, they had the little space where you could you can
they had the
the
cry
seating.
face.
They had seating in the back. So like, yeah, when I lived in the closet, everybody could hear what's going on. If I was on the phone, they could hear me, and even with the door closed. So I picked up my things and journal and write, and get a nice relief to the
Yeah.
Williamsburg Jamba Juice. It's not there anymore.
Oh man, the
Sad
cry
story.
corner.
Yeah,
What if you
yeah.
get there and somebody's already crying? Like you gotta wait.
That would be a great Seinfeld
Come
episode.
you
Like,
come
they
at
took
the
my
same
cry corner. They
you
took
come
my
at the same time, you gotta see whose situation's worse.
Yes, that
My
is
cat ran
so
away.
funny. Oh my God. Oh yeah. And then, if you gotta cry, you could just put sunglasses on and do it on the train. You're good.
Yeah.
The
Nobody will know.
sunglasses are the best wall because, like, when you got sunglasses on, people can't see behind your eyes. So it's like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Right. Yeah. Around New York, where do I normally cry at? I don't know. I guess walking home when I was heading home. I don't know. I'm sure it does sneak up on you. This city isn't easy. I tell people when they want to move here, like, be prepared and don't feel bad if you fail. It's really not for
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah. I feel like it's not even about, I feel like some people, they have so much like judgment, like, oh, it's not for everybody. But here's the thing. I think like people just outgrow it because it's like, all right, I'm living a life where I'm like like hunching in my own apartment to make space, like literally
Right.
hunching, and it's like, oh shoot, I could just go somewhere, live on the beach. Maybe I could live in a space with a backyard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think,
I love
yeah,
I love Mel's setup. I miss Cali when we were over there, when I went over there, and just
yeah.
being able to go from a New York style apartment to one out there is just night and day. They're 10 times the size. You have
Oof.
Mel has this thing outside. It's like a big like back porch that's like opened up. Honestly, her back porch is the size of my apartment. So just imagine that, just having that with like a garden. And yeah,
Right.
it was I felt like just I could do more. You know, I feel like you definitely see the ceiling in New York.
Space.
LA
Yeah.
LA, you don't see the ceiling. You know what I mean? Like you're just like,
What do you
oh
mean?
damn. Like you'll just see a mountain. I feel like there's like the sky's the limit came from LA. People came to New York and they were like, nah, this is the limit. 8-foot ceiling.
Yes,
That's the limit.
that is that is so metaphorically like accurate.
New York will beat you down, like it really will. Like, it's just like somebody with a baseball bat. Just, oh yeah, here's a parking ticket. Bap, come on,
Yeah.
oh God, my
That is why
leg.
I do not drive. Yeah, like my one boyfriend drove, ex-boyfriend, he drove, and the kid always had a parking ticket. And then one day they put the boot on his car, and that's expensive to bail your own car out. It's like,
Yeah, to me, it's like if I'm gonna drive again, when I did it before, my car, I was the best situation because the car was beat up. And it's like I didn't care what happened to it. I'd go outside, kids would be crawling on it. This is New York, like people
yeah.
sit on your car, you
Oh
know,
yeah.
and you just gotta deal with it. What, you gonna fight everybody, or they hit you in traffic? So
Oh yeah.
I don't know how good it is to have a beat up car. To me, I'm more about reliability. I don't know.
Mhm.
I'd want a newer car, but then you gotta pay for a garage. Like I would have to.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't. It's like with the pandemic, it made me want to learn how to drive again. However, in New York, it's just not economically worth it, I don't think, because you don't have a driveway.
I agree. Unless you have like some sick hookup, like I had a friend in Harlem, and I think he told me his rent for like a nice 2 bedroom was only like 700 a month. He had like rent controlled. So he had a car, that he had like he just has to move it all the time. But he's like away from everything. It's like on the east side of Harlem. There's no trains. So it's like I get why he has a car. Or like if you're out in the Bronx or
Right.
somewhere. I guess because then I'm like the trains suck going outside of Manhattan, like Harlem, the Bronx, deep in Brooklyn.
Yeah, I know. One
Because in the
time,
city you can't park. Like these
no.
parking cops in the city are around.
Yeah, they're vicious. I know.
Vicious.
It stinks though when you have to do work outside of New York though. I did like for my TV development internship at the production company, they shipped me all the way out to somewhere in upstate New York on a train to deliver equipment. And oh my God, to get home, it's just like a maze. Just trying to get home on public transportation from upstate New York somewhere. I
Oh
was just
yeah.
like, I no, thank you. Like,
Or from
uh,
Long Island. Hey,
yeah, and it was winter.
what was one of your favorite jobs or skills that you've learned? Because I know you have a plethora. You have a
Yeah,
few. Like I feel like I could just call you and ask you about anything, and there's a good
anything.
chance you'd know it.
So, okay, I've done sales. I was like a telemarketer. I'll tell you what. Here's what. Yeah, I've done so much, but one thing that I really liked was when I did telemarketing, they had this poster and it said, think with logic and not emotion. And I still think about that poster to this day because, in terms of business decisions, a lot of times we're upset. Like we feel like we're done wrong, done dirty. It's like, okay, that absolutely is not productive.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It is a surefire way to get you blackmailed, no, blackmailed,
Yeah,
blacklisted,
I'm not sure.
blacklisted. Like if you react in business with emotion, they will write you off as irrational, and nobody wants to be around that.
Right.
Which is unfortunate, but that's why I love art, because that's where you can thrive with your emotions and connect on that level. But in business, you got to think, okay, with logic, what's the problem? What's the solution? How can we fix it? And then, okay, plan A didn't work. What is plan B? There's no time for getting upset and going in a tizzy, like, as much as we want to. That's not productive. Stay calm, cool, collected, and let's focus on the solution, because there's no time to be upset right now.
Yeah, and like exactly like you said, that puts you in a category with a business. I remember I worked at a car dealership, and it was like they were the type of dealership that would move people up. You could start off changing oil and be like a manager and make a great salary. They were that type, like family owned. And I learned the hard way young on. I don't know, trying to be impressive or something. I was snapping and yelling at people, what?
Yeah.
And I was really losing my temper, and I never got promoted. I was the guy stuck washing cars.
Yes.
People would be there 3 weeks and they'd be my boss. And
oh my God.
they couldn't trust me with clients and customers.
I totally know what you mean. It stinks. And then it also keeps you in the poor me mindset, because you're actually repelling people away from you by being emotional. And then you wonder why people don't want to work with you or like help you. And it's like, oh, okay. But one thing I will say, I wish I got emotional instead of logical. All right. So I regret this actually. So when I was a real estate agent in the Lower East Side, this guy who's like 20 years older than me. No, he was a real estate agent. And
same company?
Same company. I got a deal, and he was going to take his people to there, but I got a deal first. So, his people couldn't see it. And that's all fair. And he just yelled at me because I was new. And honestly, I think it was because I don't know. But anyway, I was being mentored by this really great, sharp real estate agent. He was mentoring me, and I was giving him 5% or whatever of my cut, because, I was like, hey, I don't care paying for mentorship. I know in the real estate world, it's really nice to have support, because if you don't have support, it's so brutal, because I'm the type of person, I don't want to make the same mistakes. I want to get to excel faster. So anyway, he had something against the real estate agent that was mentoring me, and was yelling at me, and was like, oh, you had to pay, blah, blah, blah. I shouldn't say his name. He was throwing also my guy down, who was my teammate. And because he was 20 at the time, 24 years old. This guy was almost a millionaire. Super smart dude, man. He was my mentor. He literally was super close to being a millionaire. He drove a Maserati. Great, smart kid. I was I want to soak up. I want to get inside his mind a little bit.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this guy, 20 years older, super bitter, and was cursing me out. And for me, I took a step back. I remember being conscious, think with logic, not emotion. While he was yelling at me in front of everybody, I was like, dude, I'm walking away. You want to apologize? Accept it by 4 p.m. Throw me an apology, and we're good. But I walked away. But and then I told the owner of the agency, I was like, dude, that was so unprofessional. But what I wish I would have said, I still have that thing. What I wish I would have said.
Yeah.
My boyfriend at the time, if I told him at the time, he would have came down. And this is the one good thing about having an angry boyfriend. Done this.
Yeah.
Instead of walking away, I would have squared up, squared up my shoulders with him, got in his face and said, "How you're talking is mad fucking scummy. You talking like the." Hold on, I will get through this. Oh wait, I forgot I was gonna approach it like this. You talk to your mother with that fucking scummy ass mouth.
Oh, he would have lost it.
You talk to your mother with that fucking scummy ass mouth right now. You talking like roadkill, fucking roadkill on the road. I'm gonna call my. You don't know who my boyfriend is? I'm gonna call him right up right now. Born and raised Canarsie, motherfucker. You know some people.
Oh, no.
You know, and I thought, I was like, that's a great line. Like, even if you're single,
Right.
swear the shit. This little fucker was little shoes.
Little shoes. Little tiptoes Tommy had.
Yeah, motherfucker had little kid toddler Nikes. Like,
Little
why
light
the fuck-
ups.
Yeah, why was I afraid of this guy with toddler Nikes? You know, like,
Right.
little
Right.
paws.
Tiptoeing.
Yeah, I was the same height as him, but he was like gray hair.
They catch you by surprise. Now people catch you by surprise, and by the time it sets up, we're not used to it happening.
Right. And I was just like, be professional, be professional. I really wish I didn't get professional. I wish I lost my job over cursing that motherfucker out.
Well, listen, let me tell you something. I know you wish you would have cursed him out, and there's plenty of times when I wish. My grandmother used to always tell me silence is golden, and I got to witness it like firsthand. Like my girlfriend now, she negotiates huge deals like with a global company. Like she can't, and people act crazy, and she has to keep her cool. I've seen her firsthand, like sit back, and something about. You just hold your head higher. They look dumb at the end of the day, the other person. When you just when you handle it like, hey, I'm leaving, go do your own thing, and then here's something, because you're giving somebody else the power to control you, Don't give nobody else power to control you. Only you can control you. If you're having a bad day, it's not going to affect my day.
I love that. And that's so powerful. And also it's aligned with quantum physics too, because if you like this book I was reading, they talk about something called the pendulum of life.
Yeah.
So the pendulum so pretty much this book is saying life is a game. We're all holographs. So the Monopoly, they have go to jail, take 4 steps back or whatever. The pendulum is a part of the life game to where it can set you back, because if everything was so easy, life would be really boring. So anyway, so the pendulum aims to steal and rob your energy. So whenever someone gets you upset, the pendulum has won. So it sweeps you up. So it's like, here's the thing. The game is to ignore the pendulum and let it fall through. And then you keep your vibe up. And that is playing the game of life right there, is not letting it sweat you.
I like that.
So I really like that. Yeah. And that's a great point. Like to your girlfriend negotiating, silence is golden.
Yeah.
Because people, once they start talking, they say more. And then there's something scary. There's something scary about someone just staring at you like this.
Right. That's how she is. She's just thinking.
That's great. I love that. Yeah, the FBI masterclass, the FBI negotiator, he said that. He said, go in your radio DJ voice when you're negotiating. Nice, calm, cool, and be quiet.
That is cool. What's today's hot topic?
Ooh, yes. We are at minute 40. All right, let's do this. All right, so what about we could do what are some books that expand our mind, or let's see. One view. Dominic, how do you not get depressed when you feel like you wasted so many years of what could have been a good life?
60 seconds. I'll tell you how.
Oh, yeah, let me time it.
I wasted so much time in my from 20 to 30 and maybe even 32, and there's nothing we could do about it. You have to accept that there's nothing that you could do about it. That's number one. It's in the past, except for one thing, which is you can make the change, which I did, and you can learn from it. Like my first apartment, I didn't buy nothing, not even a table. I paid all this rent to live there on a mattress. I never even went there, and that was a waste of a year. But now this place, I'm making sure I have my kitchen knife I want. I'm doing my shower my way. I'm not wasting time. I'm like, I'm going to get it done right now and have what I want and enjoy it. So all you guys can really do is learn from your mistakes. I hope that answered your question.
I really love that. Oh, yes. And you got 14 seconds left. That was so perfect. So to summarize, you learned from your mistakes. That is how you see what didn't work, and you lived your life with what you learned.
Yeah, don't feel bad. That knowledge will pay off. That mistake will pay off 5 years later.
So true. All right, here we go. I'm setting a 1-minute timer. All right. I would have to say, I'm going to be honest. Sometimes I do get sad thinking about like the past and what I regret all the time. But I think that's a realization that does nothing. Like you can't go back and relive that area of your life. So just harping and appreciating that time because it made you who you are today. I know it sounds hacky and trite, but it's true. I'm appreciating that time in your life and knowing that there's not a school. Like my life, I took a really like bumpy road. And you know what? The people that like I'm friends with that have had a really nice smooth road. I feel like I'm able to like feel things and see things from a different angle because it's like in school you can't teach empathy. You can't teach understanding someone else's situation and getting the wisdom. So yeah, you become like Yoda, live life hard and learn from it because that's how I'd like to know Yoda's did they do the Yoda's they did it in the Mandalorian. I've watched a few episodes, but I don't know.
I just got cable, so with Spectrum they gave me cable for a month, so I get to watch shows. I haven't watched any shows in forever. I mean, other than Amazon and Netflix, but that's it.
I have to say, having cable is a whole game changer. Like, it makes you feel a part of the know. Like, for the longest time, I only had Hulu and Netflix, and I sometimes would feel a little out of the loop with life sometimes because I'm in my own bubble. Like, literally, no news, nothing. And it kind of grounds you a little bit. It helps you feel in the know.
Right. Yeah, I could totally see that. I've been in a bubble of somebody else's Amazon Prime account for 2 years. Now I have my own Amazon Prime account, but
leveling up.
Leveling up. That $11 will change your life.
Seriously. Well, should we wrap it up?
Yeah, it sounds cool. Yeah.
Oh, all right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to
Good Afternoon Planet Earth, or good afternoon.
Follow us on Instagram at Good Afternoon Planet Earth _TV. And now we're on TikTok. Dom, did you get a chance to browse the TikTok?
No, I will. I gotta check it. I'll go on it.
Well, follow us at TikTok. We're at Good Afternoon Planet Earth. And I know I should have made the handles the same _TV, but I was like, I want it shorter.
No, it's all good.
The gape-tv thing was awesome, but now it's associated with like buttholes.
Should we take it back to Gape though? People remember it.
Yeah, people do remember it.
It might be more catchy. Maybe we should.
The thing is, I don't want our guests to like feel embarrassed that they're like me and you, we don't care. Like it's totally satirical. Like we think it's hilarious. But I remember when we had a guest on and someone started like talking gaping them and stuff, and I'm like, oh God.
Yeah, but you know something? Yeah. We're always gonna have weird comments.
Right.
And Honestly, you never
inevitable.
know. It could have been a friend of the guest, honestly. You know how these some of these
Ooh. Yeah, so
comedians are ridiculous. So I
oh
wouldn't
my
be surprised if it was
right.
just a friend of the guest being funny or
Yes.
something. You never
I don't
know,
know.
but
This guy was scary, man. I was like,
nah, we could play it by
"Yikes."
ear. But if
True,
it's more
true.
catchy and if it creates more controversy, maybe let us know, one viewer. We
Yeah,
gotta
one
ask.
viewer. So GAPE is our acronym. Good Afternoon Planet Earth. However, unbeknownst to us, which I think I'm using that right. I don't even know. Do
Yeah,
you know what unbeknownst to me means?
I think that's right.
Like, yeah,
It's just rarely used as us, but
right.
unbeknownst.
Like
I can't
we
even
were
say the word.
unaware. Unbeknownst. Right. Where the frick did that
I
phrase
ain't have
come
nothing to do with this. Yeah.
But yeah, so like gape also means butthole surfing. Butthole
Yeah.
surfing? I don't know what
Surfing.
the fuck. It means something with the butthole. So like we didn't know though. That's our acronym. Good Afternoon
Right.
Planet Earth. So anyway, I don't know. One viewer, thank you so much for tuning in, but let us know what you think. Should we go ahead because we can have it on all the handles, Gape TV, or
Ev
should
Oh,
is
yeah, go
that
ahead.
is that bad PR and we're gonna have some weird associations and should stick to Good Afternoon Planet Earth? But that's really annoying to type in. You know, if someone's
And
like, "Yo, I'll follow you," what is it? Good Afternoon Planet Earth. They'll be like, fuck
it's
this.
too
Never mind.
much.
It's too
Yeah.
much. Yeah.
Listen, and on top of that, listen, one viewer, every time I told somebody the name Gape TV, they
Relax.
cracked up. I know they're gonna remember it.
Yes, you're right. You're right. All right. Anyway, well, thank you everybody for watching. We will give the viewers the chance to vote. This is going to be our voting session, guys.
Right.
All right. So this is going to be released March 22nd. So we'll do it in a week. In a week,
Cool.
please, guys. Comment. Let us know. We're gonna have a voting on Instagram actually. So yeah,
Right. I
follow us
wanted
there.
to do the text thing too. That would have been cool if we could be text 1822 Gape or
Yes.
something.
Yes.
But no, just yeah, comment on the videos, y'all. We love you. Thanks for
Love ya.
tuning
All
in.
right. Bye.
Later. Cheers. Bang. Oh, we can
Cheers.
tap. People might say we're taking. Oh, that's cool. Put the power together.
I love that. Cheers.
Cheers.
Thank you for listening
That
to the
is-
Good Afternoon Planet Earth podcast. The only afternoon show that's filmed in the morning and aired at night. Please subscribe and leave a great review if you can. We will be grateful for that. Have a good afternoon, Planet Earth.